Hey, this is MeetMopperX with BeamNG Drive, and today we're going to continue on with our car exploration. There's going to be a couple of videos like this where I'm going to be exploring the maps and stuff like that, until that's all done and we can do some crash testing and stuff like that. So, the next car, if you remember correctly, that we finished up with the Ibishu Covet, and we're going to be looking at the Ibishu Pessima Stanced. The description: completely useless and undrivable. This version is designed only for aesthetics. That is untrue. It can be driven. It's just not really recommended that you do, because it will not... Well, you'll see what I mean. Like, the struts, they are basically gone, I think. Bounces all over the place. You can turn it, but it's just... You put it on suspension, it doesn't by itself. Like, the fuel tank has been ruptured, and that means the car will catch on fire soon. And we could try to do a look with it, but it's really... I doubt that it'll do anything. Oh, we're going up, we're going up, we're going up, we're going over. No, we're not. We're gonna hit it. Yeah. And while we're here, why don't we do this crash test? It works for a brief moment. Then all your hopes go up in flames, literally. So, next we're going to look at the Ibishu Miramar. It is I think it's a 1940s car. And it is, it was introduced in the 0.5 version of the game. And the one that I want to look at is the race, because this Odakai race skin was introduced in the 0.6 update of the game, the version that we're playing. And yeah, you can get it in... Never mind. Control W. That brings up the vehicle customization. You can get it in blue, obviously. Wait for it. Blue, white. Green, white. Wait for it. Also changes the number. Red, white. And I think that's it. So yeah, it handles like you would expect from a 1940s car. I think it's 1940s. A 1940s race car. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. The worst would be the base model. Like, actually, it looks really well, apart from the giant skin. Basically, you can tell it's not the best in race technology, but it's also not the worst. Like, it does have a roll cage, like the Ibishu Miramar. Since I know that was kind of quick, let me know and I will, if I get enough requests for that one, or for one car. Next one that we're going to look at is the Bruckle Moonhawk. And I think it's a 1970s car. And the one that I want to look at is the not the Detective Special, the Terrible. And Terrible is basically, it's great for dirt racing, but not really for anything else. Front looks like it's been completely removed. The only thing left is the front support bracket for the radiator. Back, markings completely removed. No hubcaps even. Seats have been completely removed. There is no roll cage. There is no side panels. There is no roll cage. There is no nothing. The only stuff that's left is doors, hood, and the fenders and stuff for aerodynamics. And instead of exhaust coming out the back, there's one exhaust coming out the side that looks kind of like a race exhaust. But you can see it's very... yeah. The tires already been deflated from cornering over bumps. The suspension's kind of wallowy. But for dirt, it works. I mean, the suspension, the wallowy suspension works. It was meant for this, so it will do what you tell it to do through dirt. It doesn't really have enough power to move effectively, though, apart from dirt, in which case it worked great. Basically, it was only good for dirt. So, next car that we're going to look at is the, I know I'm going kind of fast, but Ibishu Pessima. You may say, you did the Ibishu Pessima last video, and you're right, this is the older Ibishu Pessima, which is strange because it was released after in the game. If that makes no sense. Basically, it's an older version of the car, but it was released after the car. I don't know. And the one that I want to look at was recently released, 0.6, and it is the Hillclimb version. Now, if you're looking at this, and if you're looking at the ZX AWS, and you're wondering what does AWS stand for, it stands for all-wheel steering. But all-wheel steering is no fun when you want to have some fun. If that makes any sense to you, I would be amazed. Basically, it's a clean car. One thing that I want to point out real quick is that with this car, the temperature shoots off extremely fast. Like, if I go in a straight line, I will show you. Look at that red bar. It's just climbing insanely fast. Or was. But if you push it, it will. See it start. It's slowly climbing. Pretty obvious, but this big wing, that is new. Same with the big splitter. And there are more Hillclimb cars. Yeah. So, next car that we're going to look at, you may just called trike, is the Ibishu Pigeon. And you may be thinking, that looks a lot like a Reliant Robin. And I think it looks like that because it's been based on a Reliant Robin. So it's your classic 3-wheeled car. And this one, the tailgate does not open. Unfortunately, I do hope they had that because I really like that feature in the truck. And so, if you look on the inside, it says, "Warning: Do not make a steering sharply at the high speed." Yes, that makes total sense to me. Just kidding. I really had no idea what that means, but I think it means don't turn sharply at high speeds, which is too bad, because that means that I won't be able to do what I was about to do. Oh well. Just kidding. There is no police in this game, unless you spawn up and make it chase you. No sign can tell me what to do. Oh god. Okay. Maybe a sign can tell me what to do. Just kidding, I can't. I can handbrake turn and this thing will fall over. If I wanted to. Okay. This really is not working. I wonder if they've made it more stable, because before you were able to get up to like 45 and then turn and then you'd be done. But I'm gonna try getting up to. Okay. Clearly it does not want to turn for me. But maybe if I get the Ibishu Pigeon boxed, it might. Because I think that has software suspension. And it's definitely more top heavy. Yeah, so you see I could probably be able to get it on its side. Get it on its side. Right now, you see? Okay, so it wasn't just me being a crazy old person. That was actually the car. So you've seen it fall. You're probably going to see it fall again, because I'm probably going to do more stuff with it. So, the next car that we're going to look at is the Hiroshi SBR4. And I have no idea what this car was really based off. But if you guys could tell me, or if anyone knows, that would be great, because then I could make references to it. And I chose the Hillclimb. I'm just going way ahead of my mind right now. My mouth is behind my mind. And so you can see they have it has a bigger fender flares. So you can fit bigger tires. It has a giant rear wing again. And the giant splitter in the front. And it basically handles pretty much like the other Hillclimb one. As in you will floor it, and it will tip over. No, unless you do that. But it still drives. It drives on. And strangely, they kept the original steering wheel. So yeah, this is a better version by a long slide. And so we're gonna crash it. Whoa! Completely immobilized. And even if it was, well, first off, look at this crash. this whole back section has been bent. How can you be starved of oil? The engine is already dead. So that tire is just wedged. How it moves, I have no idea. Secondly, it's just been smushed into a little cube like Wall-E. Disney, please don't sue me. I'm sorry if I made that mistake. I'm only a little boy. Okay. So, Hirachi Sunburst is next. And again, I think that has the Hillclimb. But we're not going to do the Hillclimb. We're going to do the Drift Missile. Because I've been doing the Hillclimbs a lot every time I get a chance. I don't really want to do the Hillclimbs all that much because I all handle about the same. So, Drift Missile. It's colored brown. Actually, I could have changed the back. Basically, you can drift this thing at 30 miles an hour. This is basically, you're driving your kids to school, alright? Just pretend, whoa! That's really cool. When they remove the sat-nav, so it looks all cool. But basically, you're driving your kids to school. They're kind of wedged in between, they're wedged in the trunk and where the seats were. Right? Okay, so you pull off. And right, you're driving 45 miles an hour. Okay, that's 50 miles an hour. Okay. And you come to a roundabout. You're turning, and then you just spin it. And then you keep going. You're trying to get your kids to school. And it's just a mess. Like, if you just... Well, basically, if you float into a wall, that might be one of them. But I think that it's horribly inaccurate. Because when you're on a roundabout, something come at you, and you don't suddenly decide to go at like 90 miles an hour. Okay. Okay, so let's just pretend a bus slammed into at 90 miles or like 100 miles an hour, 110, because you were going so horribly slow and he was going so horribly fast. That's what it would look like. One kid is probably outside or dead or both. Yeah, they're basically all dead. Kids in the trunk, they're sporting injuries and they've fallen out. So yeah, this would not be a great car to drive your kids to school in. That's pretty obvious, but just in case you're wondering. And the Civetta Bolide is next. Audio cut out again. Don't worry. That's my fault. And we're actually ahead of schedule. So we may just be able to do the last 4 and then some map testing. And the one that I'm most interested in is the Knot. It's a custom configuration which includes lower suspension, rear diffuser, custom exhausts, and a captivating paint job. It's matte black. And it's basically the Superfast, I have lots of money so I can do whatever I want paint job. Or I have lots of money, so I can buy whatever I want. And I'm gonna buy a sports car type of attitude. So this thing has no turbo. It's naturally aspirated, but it drives beautifully. And by that I mean it drifts. Okay, it was not meant. Look at that tire. Wait, I just want to. Look at that tire. It's like, I can do whatever I want, so I'm going to be a rolly tire. How far is this thing going to go? What the heck? Seriously. Hold on. Tire is just like, I don't want to be here no more. I'm out of here. Alright. That was pretty amazing. That was a really short car review, but it was worth it. Next we're going on to the Gabriel D series. And if you remember, this is the car that I started out with. So, the one that I want to look at is the D35 Pig in orange. And it's basically the I'm an off-roader, I can do whatever I want, yeah, approach. Whoa! Okay. Oh, go upright. Alright. It's basically, I'm an off-roader and I can do whatever I want except turn, approach to cars. Really bouncy suspension. You try the rocks over here and it'll just cruise through these. Instead of on the other end of the spectrum, you have the efficient stance decimal, and it would not be able to make it on top of the rocks in the first place. Yeah, so as you can see, the rocks. And, okay, except for giant rocks, which, like, you need a monster truck to go over. Oh no! Please don't tell me the pig is stuck. No, the pig will never be stuck. It's kind of the truck makes when you don't have to work logically, you can just work fast. And we can try going over a small jump. It just shrugs it off. No problem for the pig. Which is unfortunate because we have to get a move on with some other cars. So the Gabriel Romer is next. And the one that I want to look at is the V8 Sport. Because if you make an SUV and you decide to think, and you decide, no, I've got an SUV and I want something to do with it, and I want it to go fast. I'm gonna make a sport version, but it's still gonna be a gigantic SUV. It's kind of amazing, and it works as an SUV too. But it's also stiffer suspension, smaller wheels. from that. You don't. You don't do no flipping over. Not on my watch. Okay. Maybe. No. Well, that actually held up a lot worse than I thought it would hold up. I mean, the roof has been moved up. This is what I meant when stuff gets glitchy. Like, speedometer, tachometer, huge, needle is still tiny. And everything has shifted. But you would probably be alive because of some magical thing called an airbag. So, next up, we're going to be looking at the Gavril T-Series. And that is a giant semi. I'm not going to look at it for too long since my computer, the T-Series kills my computer. So we're going to get the smallest one and see how it works. Basically, you can get props and stuff. And so there's actually a semi-trailer that you can add. It's called the Drive-In trailer. And you can haul around stuff in it. Like you can put stuff in the trailer inside. But you can see this basically, it kills my frame rate. My frame rate was already pretty bad to begin with. But you can see up. And now we're gonna fly it off a cliff and hit slow-mo. This is an extremely sturdy vehicle, so I'm not expecting that much damage. The radiator was damaged. Okay, the drive shaft was broken. But the engine still works. Not everything else connected to the engine works. The truck won't really be able to drive. Because the drive shaft is broken, which puts power from the engine to the wheels. But we can... Okay, maybe. Ugh! Look at the engine. And it's what you would expect from a truck. It's a nice big engine. And yeah, that won't close. So if you were driving a truck and it worked, you would just see a bunch of hood. So, on with the next and the last and final vehicle, the Gavril H series. And I'm going to be looking at the H45 ambulance because that was just added. And I think it's a variation of the box, you know, the box, if you have, like, U-Hauls. Yeah, so you would think this would be pretty sturdy, the box bit. And there's a map called Cliff, that's a stock map. And you can see it's just a bunch of aluminum put over a shell. But the doors will open. See? And I don't know if we'll be able to accelerate quickly enough. But that little bed thing, the stretcher, it will come out. So, if we have to, I can just grab it. I can just grab the note, pull it out. Maybe we can shimmy it. Oh, come on. Come on. Okay, meantime, this has been Meet Mopper X playing BeamNG Drive.